Hey everybody, it's Angeline. I'm back with another video about my life story and my journey. And this video is about self-care and self-love and why it's so important. Self-love and self-care is something that I've always struggled with in my journey, in my personal life. And I thought it would be a good topic to really touch on and just go over some different things that I find to be really important about self-care. Self-care, self-love is very important regardless of gender, orientation. It doesn't matter. You know, you should always be putting yourself first, and you should always be filling your own cup before you try to fill anybody else's. There's a saying that goes, you can't really love anyone else until you truly love yourself. And it's really true. You can't meet anyone else where you haven't met yourself. So if you're not taking care of yourself and you're not focused on being the best version of yourself, then you can't expect to have someone else meet you as the best version of themselves either, because you can't expect to receive what you're not putting out. The other side of that coin is the personal aspect to it. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not practicing self-love and self-care, then you're going to feel like there's a void. You're going to be looking for your happiness outside of yourself. You're going to be looking for your happiness in people, places, and things, which turns into toxic relationships, which turns into addictions, which turns into, you know, all kinds of different bad habits, because you're not able to make yourself happy without looking outside yourself. And then you're never truly happy that way either, because it's not up to somebody else. It's not up to a thing. It's not up to a place to make you happy. It's up to yourself. So self-care is so important. So one of the first steps in my self-love journey was forgiveness. Whatever circumstances occurred in my past that made me feel like I wasn't lovable, that I wasn't worthy of love, that I wasn't worthy of truly being happy without seeking other people's approval, I had to go back. And anybody that affected those things in my life, be it my parents, be it family, be it anybody, friends, growing up, if I was, I was bullied, anything that I did myself, anything that I had done to other people to make me feel like I was a bad person, I had to forgive everybody, including myself. And I have to realize that I'm not perfect and nobody's perfect. And despite all of that, we all deserve to be loved. Everybody deserves to be loved. And that's myself included. So in forgiving those people and in forgiving myself, I'm able to, pretty much wipe that slate clean and start, fresh and create space for that, any anger, any resentment, any pain that people caused me. It doesn't go away, but I've forgiven them now. And so I can continue forward in my life without holding those feelings. So one particular aspect of my journey was realizing that I had codependency. Once I got out of the relationship with my kid's dad, I realized that something was really wrong, and I got counseling, and it was there that I was made aware that I had severe codependency, and I was able to, speak to a counselor. I was able to read through some self-help books. I was able to, journal and do different things in order to get myself out of that, And if you're not familiar with codependency, it is basically something where you tie your emotions and feelings to those of another person. And you basically rely on that person in order to feel approval, feel happiness, feel anything. Whatever that person feels is what you feel. And so once I got out of that relationship and I really didn't feel anything because that person wasn't there to tell me how I should be feeling, I knew something was wrong. And it was then that I got counseling. And, I realized that there's a stigma around counseling, that only crazy people go to therapists or something like that. But I mean, it's really not true. If you can't get through the day without, reaching out to people for approval or drinking or getting high or something like that, it may be, a scenario or a circumstance where counseling would definitely help you, and there's other things that you can do. You can go to self-help, like read self-help books, go to groups, talk with people who have been in similar circumstances, similar situations, whatever works best for you, you know. But in my case, I definitely got counseling, and one thing that I also realized is that with codependency and with self-love, it's not something that you just, once you start doing it, once you start putting that energy back into yourself and taking care of yourself, it just comes naturally. It's something that you have to create a routine and you have to constantly do. Otherwise, you will continually just fall back into bad habits, fall back into bad feelings, and then it'll have you doing things that you don't want to be doing. In my case, I really have to stick to a routine. So, you know, going to the gym on a daily basis is important for me. Getting up and showing up for myself in the morning. So, you know, doing my hair, doing my makeup, dressing in a way that I'm proud of the way that I look is very important for me. And you know, self-love is going to look different for everybody, and it's just finding what works for you and sticking to it and showing up for yourself day after day, so that you don't rely on anybody else or anything else in order to make you happy. Another key thing to remember is that, you know, whatever the feelings were that made you turn outside of yourself to find your happiness, to find love, to find approval, or even just drown whatever feelings that you were feeling, those feelings, they don't necessarily go away. You just learn to live with them. You learn to forgive the people that caused you to feel those feelings, and you learn to just live your life day by day and understand that that's a part of who you are. And one thing that you do have to understand is that healing is not linear. So there are going to be days that are harder than others. There will be days when you wake up and it feels like you're back where you started. And it's just important to remember that, you know, you're stronger than whatever it is you're facing, and you're worth more than falling back into bad habits or associating with people that don't respect you and don't love you the way that you deserve. So for me, once I healed a lot of the things that I had been through, and I started putting energy back into myself and showing myself the love that I wanted from other people, it required me to put boundaries up on a lot of the people that I had in my life that weren't respecting me and weren't treating me the way that I deserved. So for instance, I was the type of person that I was a people pleaser. I would do everything and anything, well, not everything and anything, but, you know, I would do a lot for people that, you know, didn't deserve it. I just wanted them to stick around. I just wanted to feel loved. I didn't want them to go away, so I would just do things that I didn't necessarily want to do and go out of my way for people, and that had to stop. And that was one thing that I really struggled with, because once I started, you know, pouring that love back into myself and respecting myself, there were people in my life that I truly cared about that I didn't want to lose, but I had to set those boundaries. And, you know, for the most part, 9 out of 10 friends, I still have the same friends. You know, it was a learning curve, and I had to, you know, put my foot down and say, look, I care for you. I don't want to lose you as a friend, whatever, but I'm not doing that anymore. You know, I've been doing way too much and getting way too little in return, and I can't do that anymore. And so there's people that, you know, stuck around, and there's people that didn't. And it just goes to show you that it's very important for you to only have the people around that are going to stick around regardless of what you're able to do for them. You know, if somebody's only around you because of what you can do for them, and they know that you don't have any boundaries, then they're just taking advantage of you, and that's not your friend, and that person doesn't truly love you anyways, so you're better off without them. So I just created some notes on some different things that I feel like are a demonstration of self-love, self-care. So I'm just gonna read off of the list and then go from there. I have boundaries, treating yourself how you're wanting other people to treat you. So if you're looking to other people, oh, I wish so-and-so would come around so we could go to the movies. Take yourself to the movies. I wish so-and-so would be here so we could go out to eat. Take yourself out to eat. I go out to eat by myself all the time. And if that's not really your thing, then do something else that you do feel comfortable doing by yourself. Take your time as you rediscover the things that you do like and you don't like now that you're no longer operating out of fear. So a lot of times when you just want to keep people around because that's your happiness, that's your sense of approval, you'll do things that you don't want to do, you know, hobbies, whatever the case is. And then once you stop doing stuff that you don't want to do, you have to rediscover, sorry, my phone's battery's dying. You have to rediscover some of the things that you like to do. I mean, me battling with codependency, I constantly did whatever the other person, whatever my significant other wanted to do, because that's what, you know, that's where my happiness was. That's where the approval lies. So once I got out of that relationship, I had to rediscover all the things that I enjoyed doing. I had totally forgotten it. 10 years had gone by and I hadn't done the things that I like to do because I was so worried about, you know, doing what he wanted to do. So, you know, it's really important to take your time. Once you start setting those boundaries and you stop doing things that you don't want to do, take your time and rediscover the things that you do want to do. You know, sometimes go back to childhood. What did you enjoy doing as an adolescent, as, you know, in your younger years, and do that. Let's see. So set goals and create small steps that you can take daily to achieve them. So if you have some goals, something that you wanted to achieve, learning a language, I don't know, anything you want to do, and it seems like far-fetched to do it. I mean, nothing's impossible. You know, set small steps that you can take on a daily basis or even weekly, monthly, and slowly achieve those goals. And that is, you know, showing up for yourself. That's showing love for yourself. Do not compare yourself to other people. You know, everybody's living their own life, unique circumstances, and you can't compare your journey to somebody else's journey. It's never going to be the same, and it's not worth, you know, because a lot of times you don't know what other people are struggling with. So everything that glitters isn't gold, like they say. So, you know, just focus on yourself and be proud of yourself for the progress that you make. Don't beat yourself up when you slip up. Like I said, you're going to wake up some days and you're not going to feel like, you know, doing it. You're not going to feel like showing up for yourself. You're going to have these feelings of, I don't even, you know, I want somebody to come, you know, do this for me. And, you know, you can't beat yourself up for that. You're only human, and you just got to keep pushing forward. Your desire to not be stuck has to outweigh your desire to, you know, lay around and not want to do anything. Be unapologetic about your feelings and desires. So whatever it is that you want to do, like for instance, with my personal case, I was a people pleaser. So I constantly did whatever other people wanted to do. And then the day that I stopped doing that and I wanted to do the things that I wanted to do, I felt guilty about that. And there's no reason that I should feel guilty about wanting to do the things that I want to do, but it's natural. So that, you know, when you stop doing what everybody else expects of you and what everybody else wants to do, and you start doing what you want to do, you have to be unapologetic about it. Stop trying to control outcomes and drop the manipulative behavior. What's for you will never miss you. So in being a people pleaser, in trying to keep people around and seeking people's approval, a lot of times that leads to manipulative behavior. It leads to, you know, taking actions in order that somebody, you know, do or fall into some type of, you know, I hate to say trap, but a lot of times manipulative behavior is just trapping people into doing things, you know, because it's what suits you and that's how you get your approval. But, you know, you only want the people around that want to be around you. So manipulating people and doing things to try to control the outcomes of how people behave or what people say and do. That's not self-love. If you truly love yourself, if you truly accept yourself as you are, whoever stays in your life will truly love you and truly accept you as well. Try to understand that everybody is just doing the best that they can, and oftentimes they are operating out of fear, and stop taking things personally. If they don't respect you and your boundaries, then reconfigure their place in your life accordingly. So yeah, I mean, a lot of times people don't address their issues. They're not trying to heal what they have going on. And so when you have people that have toxic behavior and you know that they, you know, are manipulative or they lie or they're, you know, whatever the case is, you know, you have to address that with those people. You have to understand that, you know, those people don't want to address their issues, and that doesn't serve you any longer. So if they're not willing to respect your boundaries, then you have to, you know, reconfigure how they fit in your life and, you know, make it clear. I've done a lot of work on myself, and you know, what you're doing isn't okay. I mean, 9 times out of 10, when people are taking advantage of you, they know they're taking advantage of you. So when you tell them to stop and they go away, they knew exactly what was going on, and it hurts. But at the end of the day, I'd rather have people around me that truly love me and have my best interest at heart than people that are just around to take advantage of me and manipulate me. So that's the notes I have on that. So pretty much that about wraps it up. I mean, if you watched my video all the way through, I just want to thank you for watching. If you have any comments or suggestions on another topic, drop it in the comment box below. Other than that, if you would please like, subscribe, share the video. I appreciate it. These videos are so important for reaching people who need to hear these messages or just need to know that they're not alone in their journey and are going through similar issues. That's the whole purpose of this channel. So once again, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.